Interesting.
So, this is Tawess from the future, and apart from this sort of odd little intro we had here, today we are doing something different. I mean, I always do something different, but today we are just basically just speed painting a Kit Fox. The reason for that is because I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do, and I have been pushing this video because I've had no inspiration whatsoever the last couple of days. And you know, at some point, you just reach a point and be like, just do it. As that wise sage once said. So I decided to do a combination of a speed paint and a random color challenge. Taking a random pick from all of my Armor Painter paints and then see how long it would take to just as quickly as possible slap some paint onto this model. Now, the paints I got was a creamy yellow called Desert Yellow, Oak Brown, Wet Mud, which is an effect paint, and Strong Tone, which is a dark wash. Not the best combination. Not only are these paints in the same quadrant of the color wheel, ranging from a dark brown to a yellowish brown, but also one of them are in effect paint, which is very shiny. It's very weird. It has this... basically has a bit of... what do you call it? It has a bit of top coat in it. Make it very gloss when it dries. It's like, alright, let's see what we can do with that. So that's going to end up on the base. We ain't going to use that. But, since I have a brown, a yellow, and a brown wash, you just have to do it, what you can. I mean, that is the whole point of this challenge, isn't it? The idea is to try and get something done with a sort of restriction to it. Now, on the plus side, these colors complement each other. Would have been a bit worse if we done wrote like a angry fluorescent green, a spiteful brown, and then get a red wash to that. That would have been worse. As it sits right now, at least these paints are sort of complementary. Not really complementary. Not in the color theory word anyway. But they work together. So, also, the eagle-eyed of you might notice that this Kit Fox is not based on its standard pose. And I was gonna make a video on the whole thing, but I recorded it and then lost it. Basically, what this is a slight reposing. It's very easy with the Kit Fox because the arms and the legs are fairly spaced apart and connected with these really nice, slightly bulbous joints, making it a good, nice, clean cut when you cut through it. Now, you could use a cutter, but I prefer myself when I do these things to use a sharp blade of some sort, either a box cutter, hobby knife, or a scalpel. You can pick either, but that is my recommendation, one of those. Now, Basically, I just lifted it up a bit, reposed one leg to make it look like it was running, and rebalanced the arms to make it look like it was actually balanced. It's not perfect, but it's close. And this goes for a lot of the Battletech miniatures actually. If you're careful, you can actually change the position of the arms or the legs fairly easy. At least the arms. The legs can be a bit of a handful because most of the legs are made in such a way that they are how should I put this? The legs are usually one unit, and with a kneecap in such a way that it's hard to get a good solid cut in it. But if you look carefully, it can be done on a few of them at least. And if you're okay with some green stuffing, you can do it to anything. I always say that with some when it comes to plastic models, as long as you have some plastic glue and green stuff, there is no such thing as a monopose. Simple as that. And what a kit fox in this case? Well, because I don't have particularly much of a love for the character in the mech. It is not really a mech that resonates particularly much with me, so it's like, yeah, it works for this. That's also why I use it as a option for cutting it apart, because if it was gonna break, I was like, okay, it's no worries. I have other models that I like better. Because you see, that is what it is. I know I said I was going to paint the grinner, but I'm still planning out the paint scheme there because it was kind of boring, so I'm starting to do something fun with it. So that is coming up. It's still on the table, but it's coming probably closer to Wednesday or Thursday. Most likely. I'm also going to say, I'm terribly sorry about this, but my schedule is going to be a bit irregular because work right now is literally kicking all the asses, and not in a good way, because, well, it's very unpleasant, but it's what it is. Right now on the table for painting we have, in no particular order, an Atlas, a Charger I think, a Victor, a Blackjack, I have no idea what this is, but it's armed. A Panther, a Raven, a Jenner, a Marauder, and of course a Wolfhound. So we have a few mechs now to paint, and I have something else coming in, hopefully in the next week or so. It's still sort of Battletech adjacent at least, but I'll show that up once it shows up. You're gonna get an unboxing video for that, because I think it's fun and I rarely do those. So yeah, that's what's coming up right now. I am out of good ideas for paint schemes, so if you have any ideas, feel free to leave them down. If you anything you want to see, or any challenge you want to make, go ahead. I am all ears right now because I'm tired at these points. It's a lot right now, and basically that tags into my ideas, my amount of good ideas I have. So yeah, I'm still considering painting the Atlas like a jack-o'-lantern because of that head. It kind of speaks to me, if you catch my drift. But I need something else for that in that case, because you can't just have a pumpkin head on a Atlas body. So I have to think about that. There are ideas. But yeah, anyway, but the painting here is basic. We are just slapping on 2 layers of paint over a base coat, touching up some details. And since I didn't get any metallics, there was not a particularly high chance of getting any metallics, but still, we're gonna stick true to the challenge. I instead left some areas white, and we're gonna hit everything with a solid amount. Also drop the paint, because, you know, that's a thing you have to do every now and then. But yeah. Basically, I'm gonna hit everything with a strong tone, and that's gonna stain the white areas and make them look a bit more, not metallic per se, but at least different from the rest of the mech. And this paint job took about 15 minutes from start to finish, if he includes picking the paints and dropping a paint bottle. And the reason I want to do this because I want to show that with these simple steps, with these simple techniques, you can actually get a decent finish on the mech. Because that is actually important for some people. Because sometimes you're sitting there like, oh, I have all this grey stuff and I need it painted. I don't know what to do with it. So please help me. And I was like, you don't need to overthink it. It's easy to overthink because you look at me like, oh, it has so much potential. Because you look at the model and be like, oh, there's so much I could do to this. And then you kind of get this weird sensation of like almost, what's it called? It's a word for it. Option paralysis. You have too many options. Or you sit down and be like, I have so much grey, I don't know where to start. This is a great way. I could batch paint an entire battalion in this way in about a day. I'm not sure I would have the energy to do it, but time-wise I could do it. Because it took about 15 minutes for this. And it's not bad looking. I mean, then you can, once you've done that, if you want to, you can go in and then start upping detail work. Like painting the cockpit, painting weapons, edge highlighting, panel lining, dry brushing. But for this, you got a solid, basic structure down. Now, the reason why I went in and did the wet mud in the between here is because it was too wet to start doing the wash over it. So it had to dry a little bit more. But with that done, just start hitting everything, just slabbing on the wash. Don't be shy with it. This stage, there's no such thing as too much. Especially with this basic paint job. There's no such thing as too much. You just slab that thing on. If you have the big bucket of wash from Army Painter, their dipping station, just dip it. Let the mud dry first though, but then just dip it. Again, there's no shame in that. I know some people be like, oh, this or that, it's not painted well enough. It's like, don't listen to those people. This is perfectly fine. This is a very serviceable way to paint miniatures, especially if you're more into the playing part than the painting part. This is 3 paints, 1 wash, and you're done. No need to overthink it. No need to feel abashed about not painting clean enough. This is very good. This is the way you should do it. And if you don't have too much time, because God knows you're getting older and things take time. Again, this is the perfect way to do it. Just sit down, slap this out, and you can feel like you've done something. It's a small victory, but it's a victory nonetheless. And that's important. To get these small wins, these hobby wins when you can. Will this win painting competition prizes? No, it won't. But that is not the aim of this. The aim of this is to get something done and on the table, so to speak. To make sure that it's done. To make sure that you have something proper out the door. And I talk a lot about this. How important it is to have these good headspaces. And it is. It is important. Because this is when you watch YouTube and see people paint models, you get this crazy idea of, oh, this looks so good. And it's like, yeah. If you have 8 hours to spend on painting a miniature, it's going to look great. But if you don't, this is okay. This is perfectly fine. And on that note, stay safe, be kind, and do play fair. Bye.